Uh, hey, Shaquita Smith, I'm super excited to have you today to talk about your character as Jordan in Wicked City. And I would just have to say one thing. I don't know why Jordan doesn't see how powerful she is in the show. And she's that person who doesn't realize it, so she keeps thinking she needs more, but
Right.
like she hasn't really looked within. So I'm like, Jordan, stop doing too much. Just you got
Just
it.
slow it down. You got it, girl. Right. I was torn with her a long time. Like if I was outside of myself looking in, I'd be like, girl, I would slap you right now if you just don't chill out. Like you got it.
It's so funny because I want to get into like yourself as an actress and different things. I know you have your production companies, but it's crazy when you look at Jordan because she reminds you of anyone who doesn't realize their own power and how much they have in life and what they can be doing. And so it's like a reflection of like almost like a philosophical thing that you see with her.
Absolutely. Yeah, I resonated with her so much only because it's um a life decision, a life situation where we all go through it,
Mhm.
right? And so I could really I enjoyed tapping into her because we were there at one point. Every person was,
Yeah.
when they was little, trying to get something when it's like you already have everything that you need.
Perfect. No, definitely. And it's crazy because I would love to ask you, sorry, one sec. I have to pause this real quick because my battery is like on the fritz right now. One second. So
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah, so the character of Jordan, what drew you into this role? Or was it one of these things where you were actually, tested for someone else and they gave you Jordan instead?
No, interestingly, the executive producer, Tressa Smallwood, she reached out to me and was like, "Hey, are you in Atlanta?" And I was like, "Yeah." She said, "I got a project that I want you to be a part of." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Cool." She said, "Well, look, the cast network is going to reach out to you. Just put yourself on tape for a role." And I was like, "Okay." So the role that they had in mind was Jordan Davis. Interesting enough, like no one ever saw me in that capacity. But for me, because I have a theater background, I do variety of acting from different scales. It was awesome for me to portray her, put her on tape, and keep it moving. Now, what people did not know is that I actually did a deeper dive, did some analysis, wanted her to be completely different from the other girls to make it very interesting to see how these women are so completely different, but yet they love each other. And so the fact that Jordan was so completely different allowed you to see how amazing that these women were together.
No, definitely. And I love that about her because the thing is, sometimes when they make this type of like awkward black girl or nerdy black woman, sometimes they go to this way where she still can't be sexual or she still can't be, you know what I mean? They make it like where she's so off the grid where it's just like, no, she's quirky, but she also speaks up for herself later on, you know what I mean? She isn't a
Mhm.
pushover. There's things like she just wants to make sure everybody's together, but she also has her own agenda. So there's layers that I do love about that because it just doesn't make
Right.
her like, oh, she's just the friend of the group that was like meek and just wants to get everybody to, discover,
Because like yeah,
you
she has so many different levels to her. Like she wants to love. Like when she puts people in place, she puts them in place. She cares about everybody. Like it's like, I definitely wanted everybody to understand that she's just a normal person and she has normal emotions just like everybody else.
Yes, definitely. When it came to auditioning, when you did the deeper dive, did you do it for when you auditioned for the role, or once you got the role, is that when you started to, build out this type of
Yeah, I
profile?
did because my audition is completely different from what Jordan was. And it's funny because I talked to the director, Dale Lewis, when I got presented. I was like, yeah, sure, I can do this because I was like, you know, curious about it. But then the more and more, because like I said, I come from a place of theater and theater actors, we do extensive research. We do extensive like method acting. And so I really just started looking into her more and more and more and more. And the funny thing is like Jordan didn't even have glasses. I got so deep into her role and understanding who she is that I called Dale, the director, and I was like, I think she got glasses. And he was like, you do? I said, yes, because she's always reading, she's always in the book, she's always like this A student. I really think like she should like be the one with glasses. And he was like, I like that idea. And we ran with it. And then he started creating the look for her. He was like, I want her with a ponytail and I want her with, you know, like the baggy clothes and the interesting look so that people can see her and be like, okay, she has her own different thing going on.
Nice. Now that you say that, I feel like you're the reason why she has those kind of mannerisms where it's like she isn't ADHD, but she thinks so fast that she tries to like splurt it out. Is that from the method of like really going there? Because I was like, you're saying that now, I'm like, oh, okay, that's why. Because I'm like that. I think real fast, and I'm like trying to get out. Someone's like, wait, what did you say? And I'm like, oh my bad. Let me slow down.
Yes, yes. And 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 here's the thing, like in the beginning of the show, she was so hyper and so excited about this magic. And if you notice, like she calmed down and elevated because of the fact she didn't get the magic that she really wanted. And it wasn't even about the magic at that point. It was just about, you know what? If that caused my friend to die, then I don't really want to mess with it. You know, I want to just kind of like at least I feel bad for it. So
Yeah.
it's like that space of the excitement of it, but then it's the space of, okay, I got to calm down because I just killed my friend. So I wanted to keep humanity, you know, keep some humanity of her instead of it being like she's super hyper throughout the whole show.
You know what I love about that, because that's the true nature of humanity, is that we're not going to be one way. We start off one way, but it's not that we change, it's just that we evolve, you know, like the experiences bring us, it like levels us out a little bit.
Yeah, it does. But that's how we are as humans. Like we get excited about so many things, right? And then one moment we might not be excited about it anymore, or
Yeah.
we might get angry, or we might get sad. So these are all things that we as human beings go through every single day.
Yes, definitely. When it came to this show and this, when you got the sides and when you got the concept and whatnot, what was it that really drew you in to say, I need to be a part of this? You know, because you get all these different projects, and then some you're like,
Yeah,
you know, shoot, I have bills, so I still need to work as a working actress. But
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
made you go like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna miss this opportunity.
Well, here's the thing, like the reason why I even opened up my production company is allowing us as African American women and men to do projects that we don't technically see out here in the entertainment industry. And so we've been fighting for so many opportunities to have the same opportunities as other, you know, ethnicities. And now we have them. That's the most exciting thing for me. And so for me, I was like, oh wow, this is a show about witches and supernatural. And we have not seen us in that type of you know, field. That gave me the opportunity to be like, okay, I really want to do this to set an example, because here we are, we're like having history being made at this point, and it only gets better and better each and every time.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, because it's like the Black Charm meets Girlfriends meets Living Single. It has
Yes,
nuances, and then I love what you said. It gets better each time, because then after I started watching this series, and then I would go back and watch, I was like, let me look at the first season of Charm and look at some things. And it's so funny because you realize like when graphics weren't as good, but it was a cult classic, you know, and it was like this way, it's like the graphics are better here. You know, there's so much going on. So I just want to give you guys all those kudos, because it's just,
yeah,
it's amazing to push it, especially in our community where, you know, sometimes we have this Christian stigma of, you know, no one really wants to invest in it, and people always have
absolutely.
a conversation. So it's amazing to see you guys push the cultural fold for us.
Right. And the other thing too is like, you know, we are able to show people that we're able to do things that, you know, we have not yet seen. And that's one of
Mhm.
the things that I do love about Wicked City. And I am a Christian. And so one of the things that I did love about it is being imaginative, you know, about this magic. And
Yeah.
so what I did was is that instead of like looking at it as, oh, I want magic, you know, I looked at it as I want, you know, God to be with me. I want that power. I want that love. And how much do I want that love? And so I kind of psyched myself out of how much excitement am I if I see God like right now? Like what is it? And so people kind of was like, okay, she's into magic, but really I kind of psyched myself to change the narrative.
Nice. I love that. You know, speaking of being a Christian and with shows like this that push those folds, what's something you would love for, especially just the Black community that identifies as Christian or Catholic, you know, that sometimes those stigmas mess it up for, you know, yourself as an actress or production companies to put more of these things out because it's like, oh, I can't let my kids watch this or can't, you know, or we shouldn't enjoy these things. What's something that you're like, hey, you guys, we need to understand this isn't reflective of me. I'm not about to change up about to be a wicked now. I'm not like after this first season, I'm not about to say, hey, y'all, so look, congregation, you know, so my name is Shaquita Smith. I'm about to leave.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I mean, we allow, right, our kids to watch all these Disney shows, and that's fantasy. So what's the difference between that and Wicked City? There's nothing comparison because throughout all of those, right, throughout all those stories, there's always like a actual reason or a purpose or a mission or a story that they have to learn. Like maybe it's about love, maybe it's about friendship. What about sisterhood? So you strip away all the, you know, the other aesthetics of it, and you actually enjoy the story more so than anything else. That's like The Walking Dead. I mean, yeah, you have all these zombies and different things, but if you like leave it away, if you push it away, and then you just look at the story, you get trapped into the story because you're like, wow, this is about, you know, friendships or love or whatever the case may be. So I think people should just look at it from that perspective. But here we go. Sometimes it's like, oh, this looks so real and so serious. But at the end of the day, if you strip away that and just look at look at just what it is, you'll understand like how amazing it is. Like we all have like magic, right? But if we strip away it being witches, we all have power. You know, each and every one of us have a gift. You know, maybe it's talking, maybe it's walking. I don't know what it is. And so it's a lesson learned throughout each story. And I think if people just look at it like that, we'll be all right.
Nice. I love that. Last question before, because I really want to get to know you as an actress, as, you know, entrepreneur, producer, production company owner. With you know, and I was really upset at the series finale, the season finale, because I was like, it didn't let me know. I didn't know it was a season finale, so I was looking for episode like 8. I'm sitting here, like, you know, I was like, wait, y'all can't leave me on a cliffhanger like that, you know. I tried. Y'all are my Thursday nights. I'm old school. I'm about to be 35 in March 2nd, so I'm like, you and Hush were my thing on Thursdays. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Have my little whiskey at the end of the night and watch my show.
It was like, so what happened?
So what happened? Yeah, y'all can't do me like that. What do you know, what do you want if you know, we already claimed it. Chanel and I said we already claimed you guys are getting to season 2. What would you like to see with the evolution of Wicked City and your character?
So with oh gosh, there's a lot of growth for Jordan for sure. And we said it earlier, right? For her to know her worth. For her to be confident, I want to see her be more confident and own her power. And to be honest, I would love to see her evolve, right? Like I want her to evolve in her friendship, knowing that she is strong. I look at her as like a Tabitha, really, you know, as such a leader. She has everybody's intentions, like she has good intentions for everybody. And the moment that she gets that, I think she'll be a force to reckon with. I really think so.
Definitely, it made me think of like the charm where they had like grams and then you had the one. I think that's like where you see Tabitha. I really you know, obviously as you can tell, I enjoy the show, but I just love being able to see just a show full of Black people, you know, especially sometimes in productions I think sometimes some people are scared to just put a whole, like everything is Black, like, you know. And sometimes I think we as a community, we think like, oh, well, we want other people to buy in. It's just like, but we have such a strong buying power as a community. You don't need to.
And I also want to see, I know everybody's been telling me, DMing me, even Chanel, about, oh, I want to see Jordan with a man. And I'm like, so everybody is really like, oh my God, if you have a man, that would be like a sight to see. So we're gonna see.
Nice, I love that. And then why does Jordan gotta have a man? You know, we're gonna have to have a conversation later on about that. Like, why does a Black woman need a man later on? Like, why can't she just be good by herself?
And see, that's what I was saying. I was like, look, like, I think her really wanting magic is like, you know, that's her man. That magic so that she is ready. That is her man. Okay. But yeah, you know, and I think too, I understand why. It's because she's very like, you know, interesting, and it would be great to see how she handles a
Yeah.
relationship and how she maneuvers it in the midst of her really wanting magic.
No, definitely, definitely. Okay, so we got on the show. This is great. What about, tell me about Miss Smith as an actress. Where did this love come from? You're classically trained, take me through that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to school for it. I started back in high school, minor high school in Alabama, Birmingham, and then I ended up having a full scholarship at Troy State University. So I've been really training in the theater department, and then I ended up leaving, going to Atlanta, and started out into film. And so, in the midst of that, I just was really good in the preparation and the understanding of like, okay, what I want as an actress. Because of the fact that I've been training, I have done, Shakespeare, I've done all of these things. And so I wanted to put that in use. And so I had the opportunities, I think like in 2006. Yeah, 2016 was when I ended up getting NCIS New Orleans. And so then after that, I, transitioned into film. And then also I had to still study for that because of the fact theater is completely different from film. So I continually to transition from that. And then because I love acting, I love every aspects of acting. I remember being on a show and one of the producers was like, have you thought about, like directing or producing? And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm straight acting. But what happened is that I was finding myself not getting the opportunities that I saw myself getting.
Mhm.
Like, now I'll be in pre-production at the end, later of the part of the year, doing my first action movie, Alabama Girl, which is something that I always wanted to do, something that you haven't really seen a lot of African American women do. I'm starring in it along with a couple other individuals, but I just love acting and I love every aspects of it. And anything that makes us unique story wise, I'm willing to do it or do it in general. So that's how I started, and I just been loving it ever since.
Nice. I like to hear that. When it came to, because you have two different production companies, right? Or you have one production company and
I,
another company as well, right?
I have one, just one.
Okay, perfect. One, and it's what's the name of it again?
Quita Films,
Peter
QP.
Films? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was reading something nudie or something with the.
It was like it's like it transitioned from there to Quita
Oh,
Films.
okay. That's why I was like, maybe that's what I thought. I was like, maybe it's two different ones. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So,
It's different, yes.
so what is it like having your production company? How do you are able to fund it, find projects? Take me through that process.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been years of just, you know, obviously networking and understanding the business aspect. Like, I never do a project if I don't know where it's going. And so I create stories to understand, okay, where does this space live? Where can it live? And then
Yeah.
from there, I start putting the pieces together. I have amazing relationships. I have amazing people that truly love my vision, love like where I'm going. And so it's a great opportunity for me to just connect the dots. Then that's all it is, connecting the dots for it to be a great project. From an investment standpoint, I have great, like investors, individuals that really love everything that I do. But it's depending on the genre of the project, depending specifically on where it's going. And I'm just really grateful and excited about it.
Nice. What's something that you've learned about yourself as an actress and a producer through this whole journey that you didn't know was there?
Yeah, well, being a boss.
I love
Yeah,
that.
well, time management and thinking strategically. I think a lot of times we want something so bad and then we don't take the time to really like lay out the land. I have like a actual book where I write down everything and I have to really look at it and say, okay, where's the pieces that's missing? How do I prioritize? And I look at my business and my acting career as a business. And so one of the things that I learned is that it's all about that time management and also putting the right pieces together. Now, the interesting thing about it is what I also learned is that you're gonna fail, things gonna happen, you're gonna make mistakes. It's all about how you learn from those mistakes. And so I'm okay with messing up. I'm okay with, making these mistakes. It's all about, okay, since I made that mistake, how do I elevate and make it better? But that's also with my acting career too. It's like, okay, that didn't work. You know, I was doing too much here. So then I look at that and I'm like, okay, what did I learn from that? And what do I do going forward? And you keep getting better and better and better each time. So I'd be like, bring on the mistakes because I'm like ready.
I love that. We have about 8 minutes left. I like to always be conscious of our time. In this journey, what's something that you would love to see in the future, especially with a lot more of emerging Black female filmmakers, producers, and directors?
What do I want to see more of? Well, I want to see more individuals being confident in their work and,
Mhm.
honing into whatever that is unique and interesting. Sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to do this project because of this, or it's stupid. Nothing is too stupid in the entertainment industry because there's always like space there for it. There's always a space for just any of those things. Like, you know, I don't know, like I've been listening to some weird stories, but the weird stories are the ones that actually work. Some people thought
Yeah.
that, what's that project? P Valley wasn't going to be as successful, and here we are. We got 3 seasons of it, and so it's just all about taking your thought process and just pushing it until God said, "All right, you ready." So that's how I feel. And then like I said, I have a project that's coming out that I didn't even think that I was going to be able to do, my Valentine Crush, and so I'm excited about that.
Nice. Can you tell me a little bit more about that one? That one comes out in 2 weeks, you said, right?
Yeah, so that movie comes out February 9th on BET Plus. It's called My Valentine Crush, starring myself, Jeff Logan from Double Cross, Travis Cure from The Oval, Don Kinney. Who else is in there? Taronda Jones from Empire. So yeah, we have some really good individuals that's in it, but it's a love story. It's a Valentine love story for BET. So I'm super excited about it. It's about a woman, myself, go figure, who is in love and wants to be in love, and she's in between two men, and so she has to figure out specifically who's the right one for her, and she eventually make the right choice for herself.
Nice. I love to hear that. Okay, perfect. Before we go, I would love to ask you just one question. You
Yeah,
paid the course. And you're in two different parts of the industry as an actress still and a producer. It's such a tough industry where there's so many no's. And you even mentioned like, you weren't happy if you weren't getting stuff. So you made your own way. What's
right.
something you would hope that this new age of entertainers, especially with social media,
Right.
FOMO, all these things, feeling like they're missing out and making sure that they actually stay the course and just don't give up too soon?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like a lot of individuals are doing really like this new millennial way. I mean, I'm 32, so, but I'm still a little millennial. But the way that social media has been, like, there's like so many people that are creating their own content on social media, and that's really like actually being seen in that way, or getting themselves out there. So the way that it was years ago, where you had to keep fighting and pushing and everything like that, I feel like it's a little bit easier now. I feel like now it's easier if you're tenacious, if you are persistent, and you're continually understanding who you are and grooming yourself.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people, give up too easy, but at the same time, like if you continually like push yourself, be consistent, look at your daily, like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the type of actor that I want to be. That's one thing. What type of actor do you want to be? And hone into that, because the more you set those intentions, the more people are going to actually see it. So those are my tidbits or my tips. But I really believe that if you just continue to put yourself out there on social media, videos, whatever the case may be, someone's going to see you, and be consistent too.
Yeah.
The word is consistency.
The word is consistent, the big C.
Consistency.
Nice.
And create your own word. Like I think we think like, oh, the only way that you can be seen is just by someone giving you a yes. But maybe sometimes you giving your own self a yes is how you even evolve. I mean, look at Issa Rae. Issa Rae has been, amazing in creating her own content, and now here she is. And so I look at that model and say, okay, I'm not a person to keep waiting on a yes. Let me create my yes. and let
Yes.
me continually to push and hone into my own responsibilities and see how it goes. But I definitely think that if individuals do that, they'll be all right.
Nice. Perfect. Thank you so much. This has been great. I had a great time speaking with you, and I always want to make sure and hope that the other person had a good time speaking with me as
Yes,
well.
I had a great time. Thank you for having me. I mean, I had a good time. I wish we could stay longer.
I know.